Man's looking to defend his belt twice and jump to another division already. 2 wins in the top 15 and he's bouncing, holding up 2 weight classes for an eternity, let alone 1. Out of all people, Leon Edwards is saying this? He's implying that he wants to jump up to 185 after his Colby Covington defense because no one in the welterweight division is interesting to him. Leon is saying this? The guy that clawed and scratched his way to a title shot, was very unlucky and even treated unfairly at some points. He's doing the exact same thing he complained about the champion before. The guy that always talked about merit and, with the representation of order for contenders to get their title shots. He wants to do the whole money fight thing, the whole champ status thing, and hold up divisions. And he's only had 1 title defense so far. He's already thinking about it. If he beats Colby, that's 2 title defenses. He would have wins over only 2 guys in the whole top 15. And one of those guys is jumping up to 185 for good, it seems like, Usman, because he wants to fight Robert Whittaker now. What about Bilal Muhammad? I mean, they fought before, he was winning, but that fight ended in no contest. What about Gilbert Burns? He's number 4. Shavkat Rakhmonov, who has a fight with Wonderboy. You have Wonderboy too. That would be a very fun fight. You have Jeff Neal. You have up-and-comers like Ian Gary, who seems to have a little bit of beef with Leon, and Jack Della Maddalena. Who wouldn't love to see Jack fight Leon? Leon said, nobody in the division is interesting. That means even that the whole top 15. Jack's not interesting. Ian Gary's not interesting. Shavkat? Here's the quote from Leon Edwards in his interview with Sky Sports. Quote, I feel like that would be perfect when they asked him about moving up to 185. I feel like going out there, being double champ, first ever from the UK to do it, that's definitely one of my goals. That's in the cards for sure. Any of them two would be a great fight. He's talking about Strickland and Dricus. There's no one that exciting in this division, the welterweight division. So for me to go out there and do that, that would be perfect, unquote.
I believe a title shot should be next. I've won an 8-5 win streak. This tonight was going to be 9. The writing was on the wall, I was winning the fight clearly. I shouldn't have. I know they find any excuse to give me what I've earned, and when that happened in the last minute, I was like, oh, fuck's sake, I know it's going to be like a harder road now. What do you think? I feel like I should be next to the title shot. Like, that's 9 in a row, 10 in a row. Like, there's no one else that's doing what I'm doing, I've offered to fight everybody, Hamzat, Diaz, Bilal. These guys never were, in the top 10. I'm one that's saying yes, everyone else is, and sitting out and complaining. I'm one that's showing up, fighting and fighting these tough guys, so I feel I deserve next shot for sure.
There's so many interviews of Leon Edwards constantly asking for his title shot, even demanding it for everything he's doing. 10-fight win streak, performance over here, performance over there, out-meriting all the other contenders in his eyes, and he was put on the shelf for so long, and now he's looking to do the same thing to these other contenders. It's a selfish sport, man. And poor Bilal Muhammad. This guy's never going to get a title shot. You got Shavkat fighting Wonderboy. If Shavkat absolutely destroys Wonderboy, he could jump up right above him. Not saying he should, but he could. You have Islam talking about going up to 170. Now you have Leon saying that he doesn't want to fight any of these guys. And Islam Makhachev as well. Islam's talking about going up to 170, which I don't agree with. He should fight Charles Oliveira next. Then he should fight Justin Gaethje. You do have a potential Michael Chandler fight, maybe if he beats Conor McGregor. We'll see what happens with Arman Tsarukyan during this time. A lot of things can happen in the lightweight division. But I would say if Islam beats Charles, Justin, maybe Chandler, whoever comes after that, if he beats those guys, then yes, he could go up to 170. Just how Leon needs to beat these contenders as well. This is what should be the standard at this point. We had the Conor McGregor days, right? Those days are gone. That's rarely ever happening anymore. I'm getting kind of tired of the whole champ thing when it doesn't make sense. If Leon wants to go up to 185 and vacate his welterweight title, that's one thing. If he wants to jump up to 185 and hold up 2 divisions, because the guy is pretty inactive, right? Imagine him holding up 2 divisions, let alone 1 that's happening right now. The middleweight and welterweight divisions will never see the light of day. I think because what happened with Alex Pereira, right? Pereira just became a 2-division champion, not simultaneously, which is the big thing here. Leon is currently a champion of a division. Pereira wasn't. Pereira did not decide to move up to 205 while he had the belt. He did it after, not only because it's a new division, a new goal of his, but he couldn't make 185 healthy anymore. He was way too big for that weight class. Leon is not too big for welterweight. In fact, if he goes up to 185, he'd be a bit too small, I think. Imagine him next to Dricus. Dricus would bully him out there. I don't like the statement from Leon, man. I understand why he wants to do it, right? More money, new champion belt, all that stuff, right? The status that goes with it and all of that. It'd be amazing, as the first UK double champ. But at this point, I think you have to clean out your division. The Conor McGregor stuff, it's gone, right? You're not that big of a star. Leon's nowhere near the kind of star that can demand something like this right now. When you look at Volkanovski, the first time he went up a division to become a 2-division champion, he already pretty much cleaned out most of his division already. And Max Holloway was the guy that was doing his work for him as well, right? So you had 2 guys cleaning out the division at the same time. There was nobody really there for Volkanovski. You had to have Yair Rodriguez fight Josh Emmett just to see who fights him next. We had to wait for matchups to happen. For Leon, there's an order already happening here. Belal is next. I know a lot of people don't want to see Belal fight for the belt, but through a meritocracy, Belal absolutely deserves it next. And then it's the winner of Shavkat and Wonderboy. You have an order happening here. Gilbert Burns is going to come back. This is not the same situation as Volkanovski. Volkanovski absolutely deserved. He worked for that double champ attempt. DC back in the day did a kind of similar thing as well. He beat out the best fighters in his weight class and went up to heavyweight. And DC did not wait out that long to jump up to heavyweight after he defended his light heavyweight belt against Volkan. He was pretty active. He fought 3 times in 2018 between light heavyweight and heavyweight. Leon is barely fighting twice a year. Barely. Sometimes he only fights once a year, like last year. DC, in January of 2018, he defended his light heavyweight belt against Volkan. Then in July, less than 6 months later, he jumped up to heavyweight and beat Stipe. And then in November of the same year, he defended his heavyweight title and then vacated his light heavyweight belt, knowing that he was going to stay at heavyweight. Leon's going to have 2 fights in 2023. He fought Kamaru Usman in March, and now he's going to fight Colby in December. I was really expecting Leon Edwards to want to defend his belt, go and fight Belal Muhammad, then fight the winner of Wonderboy and Shavkat, then maybe fight Gilbert Burns, then fight one other guy, and if he's able to get through all of that, then yes, he gets a merit to jump up to 185. That's how it should be. Just how Volk did it. Just how DC did it. That's what it should be. But Leon wants to jump the queue thinking that he's a very big star right now. Or, people want to see him go up to 185. 185 already has their contenders. They already have a lineup, right? You got Dricus fighting Sean Strickland. Really good fight. Then you have Jared Cannonier out there. You have Robert Whittaker, who might fight Usman. Winner of that fight could get a title shot. You got Hamza, who can do something very quickly here. And Leon's gonna jump over all those guys? I don't see that happening. It's a bit hypocritical coming from the guy that's saying this. He was like the #1 proponent against this whole thing, and now he's talking about being the same exact champion that he complained about. He always wanted his title shot. He believed he deserved it. He talked about it. And Kamaru Usman, who was the champion, yes, he wanted to jump up, but Usman cleaned out a lot of his division, man. That guy defended so many times. That's when he started talking about jumping up in divisions and stuff. He wanted to go up to 205 and fight Jan Blachowicz. That's how crazy Usman is. But he always fought who was there. Again, like I said, I never would have thought I would have missed the Kamaru Usman era in the welterweight division. Ever since he lost the belt, I've been missing it more and more. He was actually a fun champion when you look back at it. He put on some fun fights. He has some good finishes, good performances, good rivalries. He was a bit cringe, but at least he made it exciting for us. So yeah, very strange to hear that from Leon. And I hope, man, they hold some order in these divisions and not allow champions to just keep jumping all over the place.